Hey guys, my name is Kayla Rain, and today I'm doing the book color tag, and I was tagged by BooksalMary, and this book was created by Books with Dylan. This tag was created by Books with Dylan. 5 seconds into the video and I'm already messing up. But I will link both of their channels in the down bar below so you guys can check them out. And BooksalMary did black books, and it was a pretty cool aesthetic there, so watch the video if you want to. Of course, I'm not going to force you to do anything, but it's there if you want it. But I went to Twitter, and Trina from Between Chapters gave me the color plum, which I'm going to take to be purple, so I have purple books behind me, if you can see them. I think I'm pointing, yes, I'm pointing to them. So, number 1, choose a color. It was chosen for me, as I just explained. Number 2, show all your books in that color. Here they are. I was very generous with what books I chose because I really didn't have that many that were just straight up purple, so if it had any purple on it, I just threw it in there. Number 3, separate read from unread. So first up I have Clockwork Angel by Cassandra Clare, and this is just the dust jacket because I lent the book out, but I have read this, and it has kind of like a purple cast to it, which is very lovely, but I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it has purple on it, I promise. The second book that I have here is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald, and I have read this. Next, I have The Fangirl's Guide to the Galaxy by Sam Maggs, and I have read this twice already since I have received it, and I adore this little book. This one's Summer by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki, and I have read this graphic novel, and it is fantastic. The Second Summer of the Sisterhood by Anne Brashers, and I have read this many, many times. Heartless by Gail Carriger. I have not read this. The Scorched Trials by James Dashner, and I have read this, and I've already pre-purchased my tickets to see the movie a long time ago because I'm excited. Stardust by Neil Gaiman, and sadly I have not read this. Just kidding, it's one of my favorite books in the entire world. I love it. The Lowland by Jhumpa Lahiri. I have not read this, but I need to because she is a wonderful writer and I just need to have more of her writing in my life. It is divine. The Mist of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. And I have to have 2 hands for this because it's so floppy that it'll just fall back. But I have not read this yet, but I will be buddy reading this with Rebecca from Why Mermaids in November, and I am super excited because this was an awesome movie and I hope it's a good book too. And finally, I have A Clockwork Princess by Cassandra Clare, and this is more of like a pinky purple, but it looks kind of purple in some lights to me, so I'm putting it in there, and I have read this. 4, what book do you want to read most? And I'm going to have to go with The Mist of Avalon by Marion Zimmer Bradley. I am very excited for my buddy read of this. It's a real chunker of a book, but it is on NPR's Top 100 Sci-Fi Fantasy Novels, and it was a fantastic movie that I just watched growing up, and I'm really excited to dive right into this. 5, what is your favorite book? And no surprises here, Stardust by Neil Gaiman. It's one of my favorite books of all time, not just in this pile. 6, what is your favorite book cover? And I'm going to have to go with This One Summer by Jillian and Mariko Tamaki, just because I think the cover of this is really beautiful and I love the illustrations in this graphic novel, so this one wins out. Though, I do really love the Stardust cover. I just wanted a little bit of variety in my answers. 7, what is your least favorite book cover? And I'm going to have to go with The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I just hate everything about this book. I think it's a terrible book. It is not one of my favorite classics. I loathe reading it, and I think that the cover is really creepy, and I don't like it at all. Judge me if you must. 8, what is a book that you want to buy? And I am going to go with Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas, and it's more of like a purpley pink on it. I guess that it doesn't really even count as purple, but it's the only book that really comes to mind, and I am probably just going to check it out from my library right now and wait for it to come out in paperback because that's what I own the rest of the series in, and I'm not a snob about all my books being the same height and just looking the same. As you can see from my bookshelves, that doesn't necessarily bother me, but series, I like them to be the same, that way I can group them together and they look nice together. So I'm going to wait for the paperback to come out on that one. Finally, number 9, what is something purple that is near you on your shelves? And I'm going to have to look because I'm not really sure. Okay, so maybe you won't be able to see this, but I have my little Funko Pop of Charlie from Supernatural, and you might be able to see she has on a purple shirt, so I'm going to count that. But surprisingly, I really didn't have that much purple on my shelf. Strange. I was expecting to have more of that. I was especially expecting to have more purple books because I really like the color purple. But apparently I don't read that many purple books. I got a crap ton of black books. So many of those. Like, I'm so glad I didn't get that color because then we would just still be here talking about books because I have so many of them. One day you'll see it. Bookshelf tour coming one day. Not soon, but one day. Okay guys, that has been it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm going to take a moment to tag some people. So I'm going to tag Morgan from Little Word Weaver. I'm going to tag Lindsay from Lindsay Ray because I don't think she's done this yet, and I'm having a really hard time bringing to mind who has done this and who has not. So if you have already done it, my apologies. And I'm going to tag the Bodacious Book Babe because I just recently saw on her Instagram that she's doing a bookshelf tour and she is fresh on my mind, so tagging her. As always guys, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.